All right, guys, let's set the record straight. You're probably tired of hearing headline after headline talking about World War III, the stock market is going to crash. Your favorite Furu on X talking about how he bought puts geniusly on Friday before market close, right? Revealing that now. In case the market opens up red, obviously, if the market opens up green this week, you will never hear of these puts again. It'll be like Houdini, gone, disappeared. So I'm here to give you the real skinny on what happened, what unfolded between Iran and Israel, and how it will affect the markets, because at the end of the day, this is a stock market channel, so I don't mean to minimize any conflict, any death, any suffering, but I have to give you this conflict through the lens of the stock market, because that is what the basis of this channel is. Obviously, we're going to have to dive into geopolitics as well. So over the weekend, what I tweeted about, well, let's take a backtrack for a second. What happened? What happened was that Iran responded or retaliated to the strike that Israel invoked on the Iranian consulate or Iranian embassy compound in Damascus. Now, this happened 2 weeks ago. So over the weekend on April 13th, Iran then responded with some very slow-moving drones and missiles that took hours to reach Israel. Now, Israel and the U.S. were well informed somehow. Hours before these missiles and drones were launched from Iran, Iran was able to intercept most of them. A handful of them dropped in insignificant areas. There were no deaths. There were no injuries. So a lot of people obviously now are thinking, oh my God, this is the start of World War III. Israel attacked the Iranian consulate. Iran then retaliated against Israel on their soil, right? But we have to look deeper into why this attack was so telegraphed, why it was so slow. And this is basically what I was tweeting out over the weekend. And by the way, follow me on Twitter for daily free trading and finance content. And I also laid out all of my thoughts on Twitter, saying that Israel attacked the Iranian embassy compound in Damascus 2 weeks ago. Iran couldn't just sit there and do nothing, because what self-respecting country would allow that, right? And so they decided on a very calibrated attack that was well telegraphed. A lot of people were like, why would they do that? Well, because this is part of the shadow coordination that goes on in these sort of things. And if you don't believe me, here's proof. None other than former President Trump himself, talking about this very same tactic that Iran and the U.S. coordinated on back when Qasem Soleimani was killed 4 years ago. Qasem Soleimani was an Iranian general that the U.S. deemed necessary to take out, let's just say that. And Iran said, guys, we can't just sit here while you assassinate our leaders. We have to retaliate. So listen to what Trump said. And this is basically what happened, or what I think happened over the weekend, and why I personally didn't think the markets would react very harshly to this, right? Listen to what Trump said.
They called us up and they said, listen, we have no choice. We have to hit you, because we have our own self-respect. And I understood that. We hit them. They got to do something. We're going to launch 18 missiles at a certain military base that you have. And you remember that night. Interesting night. I was the only one that wasn't nervous, because I knew what was going to happen. They told us that don't be concerned. We're going to launch 18 missiles at your military base, but none of them will hit the base. These are very accurate missiles. These are missiles that essentially never miss. They're very reliable, very accurate. 5 of them blew up in the air, didn't make it, and the others hit outside the base area.
So you can see here Trump talking about those events where Iran called up the United States and said, we can't just sit here and do nothing. We have our dignity to protect. We have our reputation to protect. If not in front of the world, at least in front of our own people. And Trump, credit to him, Trump actually understood that and said that he understood that, right? And so these missiles were fired. Nothing materially happened on the ground, just like these drone attacks in Israel. Nothing materially happened on the ground. Both parties considered it concluded. And in this case, Iran has considered this concluded, and they said as much. And I just want to pause real quick and let you know that on April 21st, we are doing a free mastermind. I'm showing you exactly how I trade, what strategies I use, the entries and exits that you see me trade on the live streams on YouTube, the exact way that you see me trade. How do I set up my chart? How do I do technical analysis with the purpose of day trading? I'm going to go over all of it, right? My futures day trading strategy as well. April 21st, the first 1,000 people that sign up will be let in. After that, it is capped. So make sure that if you want to join, that you sign up and you will get emailed the details. Now, to make sure that this doesn't escalate further, the U.S. told Netanyahu that they're not going to support an Israeli counterattack on Iran. So make sure you don't do anything because you're going to be on your own. Now, obviously, I'm not Nostradamus, right? Nobody knows, like nobody really thought that Putin would invade Ukraine after telegraphing it, right? So obviously, Netanyahu can go rogue, can try to force the U.S.'s hand into a broader regional war and attack anyway. But all I'm saying is there is evidence for these types of coordinated attacks. There is evidence for this stuff happening, right? Now, one other reason why I personally wasn't, from a market perspective, didn't really buy the fact that this specific attack or this specific part of the conflict would really have any sort of lasting market repercussions is because if you look at this day here, this was the day that Russia invaded Ukraine, right? Now, a lot of people went short this day because they thought, oh, Russia invade Ukraine, me go short, right? This was one of the biggest reversal days of 2022. February 24, 2022 was the exact date. The market gapped down 2.5%, ended up green 1.5%, right? So a huge reversal day. And then the next day was a big day, 2.2%. And then shortly thereafter, we had a 3-week rally in the markets, right? And everyone was like, how can this happen? Russia invaded Ukraine. And the same thing will happen here, as long as, obviously, there is no escalation. Now, could there be an escalation beyond what we know? Yes, of course. Could Israel go rogue and escalate further into Iranian soil? Yes, of course they can. I'm not Nostradamus. I'm just saying that this specific coordinated, clearly telegraphed attack is very similar to what the Iranians did after the taking out of Qasem Soleimani, right? So that was my reason for my assessment there over the weekend, right? And it looks like so far, if you look at the futures here, as of the time of this recording, April 14th, futures are super green. Now, the market could open red and then reverse green. The market could open red and then continue in a little bit of red. I don't want to divorce what is actually going on in the market already from something that could be further escalated, right? So the market, as I said before, is clearly acting in a pre-recessionary phase, where we had a historic rally, commodities are going crazy, and now we are trading sideways, right? Bond yields and the yield curves are acting haywire once again. Gold is through the roof. Oil is through the roof. So yes, of course, if you pile on a further escalation, things are going to look bad. But this specific retaliation by Iran, to me, is not market moving, in my opinion, right? And you could see this futures would have opened super red if this thing on its own was going to affect the market. So the way that I'm going to currently play this, unless there is further escalation on this specific issue. By the way, I'm not talking about the war in Gaza, right? That is something that unfortunately has been going on for 6 months. So I'm not talking about the war in Gaza. This is specific to the Iranian retaliation for the hit on the Iranian consulate in Damascus, right? So what I'm going to be doing is shorting the VIX on any irrational pops in the midterm, as long as there isn't any real serious escalation that might then, invoke a larger ground war. I'm also going to be longing the VIX when we get to below 13, as I have been doing all year. I'm going to continue to look for extreme and significant value, not insignificant, and significant value in stocks such as Tesla. Nike is starting to look attractive, as I mentioned. Lululemon is starting to look attractive, but this right now is still a falling knife, so I'm going to wait a little bit. Obviously, I will send all of this stuff out in the Traveling Trader Academy, as I do all the time, sending out my stock alerts. Sent out Google, which recently hit an all-time high. Recently sent out Tesla talked about Bitcoin miners, up heavily on Google and Tesla covered calls, as we also have an option selling section. And then obviously, if you joined the live streams last weekend, we day trade every single day. I go live with the group every single day in the Discord. So make sure you click the link below, use the coupon code. Also, on April 21st, we are doing a free mastermind. You definitely want to join this. The first 1,000 people that sign up will be let in. After that, it is going to be capped, and there will be no more people let in after the first 1,000. So make sure that you sign up for this. Obviously, if you're already a Mastermind member, you do not have to sign up for this. You will already be let in. But if you are not a Mastermind member, you are either a monthly member or not a member at all, and are interested, make sure that you sign up for this absolutely free mastermind, where I will go over my trading strategy. How do I find trades? How do I find entries? How to set up the chart? How to do technical analysis, whether you are a prop trader or you trade your own money. How to trade futures as well on a day-to-day basis. So you definitely want to join this, because I go over exactly the way that I trade on live stream, that you guys see me trade on live stream all the time. That is what we're going to go over. So make sure you sign up below. Let me know your thoughts on this particular conflict. Do you think that there will be a major escalation or not? Let me know what you are doing, how you are playing this. Are you buying the dip? Are you buying the dip in crypto? Are you going to be selling your stocks here? Are you worried? Are you not worried at all? Do you think this is a nothing burger and that the media is exaggerating? Let me know down below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.